There are 4 steps to achieving BEYTEK. Let's begin.
Hello guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Gav, aka BEYTEK, and today we're going to be playing with the RX-7 steering. So it's a familiar sight here in the garage just now. We've got the bits, the turbos and stuff off the car just now, just to get to the steering rack. But not only that, I was actually putting in the new diff. So the diff I've got in this now is still from an X5, however, this one actually has an LSD in it now. So yeah, that'll help with the one wheel peel situations. It's a helical blackline LSD, so yeah, it'll help spin both wheels, and we should see a bit of a difference in the G-force and launching with that. So yeah, another thing I'm going to be doing is actually modifying these here. These, if you remember, they're the steering knuckles. They drop down from the rack. I've actually welded pieces of an old rack on here with the M16x1 thread in here for putting in an original style tie rod, the ball piece here at the end. The reason I'm doing this is because this is what I had before, hinge joint here, hinge joint here. But inside here wasn't a left and a right thread. So every time I would adjust the tracking, I would have to pull this off, spin it out a couple, put it back down again. And the worst part about it was, to take this off, I needed to take the wheel off. So it was a bit of a hassle. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm just making these shorter, and I'll have one side which can spin inside here, and then the hinge joint can stay on the car. It just means I can adjust the tracking while the car is on the ground, not have to jack it up and disturb everything and take wheels off, blah blah blah. So the first job I'm going to do today is cracking off this nuts here and here. If you notice inside this here, you can see the threads being bent down. I can't actually remember how that happened. It doesn't look like it's a recent thing, to be honest with you. But yeah, the fittings here are broken. I got the spare rack and I've taken the other piece off here, so I do have a new one to go on. I'm going to stick that on just now because I'm going to go power steering. Now power steering, I'm going this one down here, as you can see. This is from a Mercedes A-Class. So I'm going to tuck that in there to try and get weight over in this corner. If you've seen in the last video, there's a lack of weight on this corner here. So yeah, I'm going to put some weight on this corner, which will help. So what I've done here is I've made a wee chamfer on here. I'm going to get the MIG welder, get a wee tack, and then make sure it's all straight. And I'm going to weld it in here, but I won't just weld it in there. I've got some pipe here as well that I'll sleeve over the top and sleeve that up. So the last version I used was like a thick piece here that I machined up on the lathe, but to be honest with you, it was just a wee bit heavy duty. I don't really need that sort of strength in it. The pushing and pulling, you know, is the main sort of bends on this. Unless you crash, obviously, then you'd probably snap that there. But if you bear in mind how thin the actual tie rod is at one point. So yeah, let's get this welded up. So that's the first one done there anyway. Put this wee light on for you. I'm filming off the GoPro, by the way. Don't usually film off the GoPro, I usually use my phone, but I've decided to give this a wee shot to see if the footage is any better. So give us a shout if you think this is better than the phone camera, you know, the usual sort of jazz. But yeah, like I say, I've welded all this up now, they're solid, and then I just put these sleeves over the top, and then once they're sleeved up, pushed down, weld around that and weld around the sleeve as well. So yeah, I'll definitely be strong enough. There we have it, wheels back on again. Tie rods are now in, so you can see, as you can see, the angle of everything there. Once this wheel comes up, obviously they go level, but now it just means I can crack off this nut here. I've left it loose because obviously the track is going to be out, and then I can just spin this one and that rod will come in and out, which will take the wheel in and out. So yes, happy with that. Both sides obviously on and done. I'm probably going to put the car down now, because I actually need to start playing with exhaust stuff. So yeah, the last thing on my little checklist today is actually drain the oil out this thing, get a look at it, and I might cut open the oil filter as well, just to have a look to make sure we're not got any metal shavings and bugs and stuff in there. And then we'll stick a new oil filter on it, fire some oil in it, and that should do for today. So the oil I'm going to be using is just this Total Quartz Racing stuff, 10W50, nothing fancy, usual Hamp oil filter I use. I actually change the oil quite a lot on this thing. It probably only does about 1,000 miles maximum on an oil change, because the oil's only 20 quid or something like that. So best to fire some new oil in it. Let's have a look under here, let's see how we're getting on. So far so good, no magnetic in there. So what I'll do is I'll just take this old washer off and then stick on the new one. I'll need two hands here, I think. Right, something's all on. Let's get this out here. And some better light. Oh, she's nice and black. It's quite black because of the amount of blow-by I have in this engine, just because I gapped the ring so loose for big boost. But yeah, we have no magnetism bits and bobs in there, so yeah, that's good. What I'll do now is take off the oil filter. I should have left that bucket down there, bastard. And I don't know about you guys, but I just fill this up. So nice new oil filter is on, all shiny down there. And I just need to fire this in here, which is going to be interesting with one hand. Let's see if I can do this. It's all about the angles. Yes! Skills. As for levels, I kind of overfill it, to be honest with you. I put like 4.5, 5 litres in. I think standard let's take 4 and a bit, but I put 5 litres in. Sometimes a little bit more, just because when I launch the oil does slosh, even though this thing has a welded baffle in it, it does slosh quite a bit still, so just overfill it, just to kind of keep things happy during launching and stuff. But yeah, overall nothing special, nothing fancy. I think this oil was like £20 or something like that off eBay. And then we need to assemble the front end back together before we start it. So anyway guys, that's going to do it for this video. Just a little sort of vlog, thinking about the place, get some bits and bobs done in the RX-7. Next thing I'm going to do is mount the power steering pump and stuff like that. Nothing fancy, I'll just weld brackets up and make it all fit. And then before I can install the turbo and everything back on again, I'm waiting for my power steering lines to come. Not even lines, it's just the fittings, like AN6 fittings that come off here, and I'll run them over to the pump. And then once that's done, it's basically just chuck the turbo and everything back on again, and I'll be doing a video on the exhaust I'm actually going to make for this, because I'll show you one of the parts I got for it. This here, a butterfly for it, so this 3.5 inch, there's a 3.5 inch exhaust on it. So 3.5 inches basically going to come down off the turbo through this and out the side of the car. Actually I think I might even be going out this way, so I brought some heat wrap to try and help, because I don't want to melt my bonnet. And then we can do some cosmetic stuff, but the car's doing good. I'm looking forward to testing this front diff that's going to be a big one for me. So we'll get the diff together and we'll do some launches, get some videos, and we'll look at some draggy times as well to see the improvements, and we'll go from there. Right folks, as always, you guys take care, and we'll catch you in the next vid. Cheers.